So welcome everyone. I'm going to do a quick eval. How many of you have done some stuff with me before? So raise your hand so I can see who's who. Good. And how many of you are somewhat new? I'll raise my hand because I'm very new. All right. So tonight is an intro to All for You, which is a training I do that puts together conscious language, imagination activation, outcome facilitation, outcome mapping, as well as the entire training of All for You in a recorded video fashion. And then we do a live version of it online. And then we also have an advanced version with our trainers, All for You Accelerator 2. And I'm going to do an intro and all that, but I have had a download in the last half hour. I'm going to call it that, from my great self, is what I believe your job is to decree only truth touches you. So don't trust anything I have to say. Make sure you're demanding truth and only truth come forward. Just do that now. I do the same. Just really, like in the name of your creator, whatever that, the most spiritual you can be. So I've been stewarding conscious language since 1968 when I studied the Hopi language. And so in 1968, my second year in college, Western Michigan University, I did an independent study. And I found out the Hopi language, a miracle happened as far as me being able to study the Hopi language. And my thesis I was supposed to write for my professor, who gave me 4 credit hours of supposedly going to be A. It wasn't. It was C-, because all I did is give quotes of the book that I had read. Anyway, long story short, the Hopi language had no relationship or reference to space in the construct of their language or time. And I'm going, what are you talking about? I can think in space and time. Now I get it. I get quantum physics is here. Quantum mechanics is here. All this stuff is here. And yet the Hopi, the pure language, is not about Hopi. It's about language. The pure Hopi language could not say I was, past tense, over their space. Couldn't say that. They didn't have a word for now, because they couldn't get out of now to have to use the word now to get back to now. What? So it took me a year and a half to write my thesis, which is just quotes. My book, Conscious Language, the Logos of Now, came a few decades later. That's my thesis. And tonight, the reason I want to share what I'm going to share tonight about is right now, like New York City just said they're going to lock it down again. They're going to say everybody's going to have to wear face masks for the whatever. All right. I don't usually play this way. I'm a little more easygoing. I like to say, well, if you like, I'm going to change that. I mean, right now. So if you vote my victory, how's that? So I have called the language, confused language. Scripture says we had better confuse their language, for there is not anything they cannot do. What? How many get that? So if that's true, I'm not using religion in it. I'm just talking about this book, the best quantum physics book there is, called Scripture. So we had better confuse their language, for there is not anything they cannot do. Wow. Decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Scripture, by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. Wow. Like what you say you get. A man or woman who, this is really, really important right now, really important. A man or woman who offendeth not in word, the same as a perfect person, and able to bridle the whole body. So just all y'all know, I'm governing down how much fire I got going on right now. So I'm just going to share that with you. So I have called this language, confused language, the Babel virus for, I'm guessing, 49 years. Got it? 49 years, I've called it the Babel virus. All viruses, how many have been studying all the stuff coming out on viruses? Viruses are not alive. They are not alive. They're an RNA or RNA DNA attachment to our RNA DNA if we have the receptor sites for these spike proteins or whatever they are to work. A man or woman who offendeth not in word, the same as a perfect person able to bridle the whole body. I have a new book coming out called My Word Made Flesh. So all these years, I'd like to, if somebody's got a lot of I can't stuff, that's lymphatic stuff. If somebody goes, they're not living their inspired life, that's lung stuff. Oh, I've got it all translated out. Just within a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes ago, I started getting pissed off. I mean, not in a bad way, in a good way. When I read this thing on New York City. Now you have to have a pass, a vaccine. And I'm going, no, No, this is the wrong way to play the game. Even if you've had it, bless yourself. Read Emoto's work. Got it? Toxic water. He puts the thing on there. Water, I love you. I bless you. I thank you. Listen to the sound. Water. Body, I love you. I bless you. I thank you. Air, I love you. I bless you. I thank you. Cells of my body, I love you. I bless you. I thank you. And he had before and after the water. He had before and after frozen crystals of the most toxic water he could find of every version. And then just saying, water, I love you. I bless you. I thank you. They freeze the water again. And now it's a beautiful, clean, pure mandala in complete balance. How many get that? That's what we can do. So what I realize now, the infrastructure, what I've been involved in for 50 plus years, is getting to the point where it's imperative, not based on fear, based on being intelligent, that every single person speak only what they choose to have come into manifestation, and understand how to do that. Understand how to decree what you choose, to pray without ceasing, to decree at all times. You know, like I am victorious in everything I do. I am my permanent victor in the light. I am your permanent victor in the light. But it goes on and on and on, where I work today, I've been doing these mini sessions, and most people, this is my view of it, when we fell from grace, I believe everybody that came to earth went through this thing. And it said, you know, had better confuse their language, for there is not anything they cannot do. Now, again, I'm just talking about this quantum physics book called Scripture, not the right, wrong, good, bad, hot, cold stuff. So I believe we have been in the, you know, we ate from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and fell from grace. I believe that happened to everybody as an eternal being of light who came here for a reason, so that we would engage where we are and resurrect it or bring it up. And of course, you do it your way. You do it according to your belief. Yeah, everybody has to do it according to their sacredness of what's true, not mine, yours. I do me, you do you. And I mean that. You know, I believe in belief. So now I'm at the point now going, wow, I started to see, oh, I called her, my God self told me, I'm whatever the words are. You know, I wasn't necessarily super conscious. I was just going, this is the Babel virus. Now I'm going, holy mackerel. It's a virus. How many get it? It's a virus. That's all in a virus. Requires agreement. A virus why is it somebody who's working diligently, you know, doesn't even have any symptoms, and somebody else in their family does? Because something in them is operating at a different level. Some people, so I'm not about that, nor what you've done so far. I'm not suggesting go do this or not do this, even though I'm going to say, I recommend we rise above the whole thing. Anyone else? Okay, so, and let's vote each other's victory right now. Permanent victory in the light. So the way I do it, please do it for you. Your way, I do it my way, is I am my own permanent victory in the light. Everybody do that your way. Mean it though. Feel the meaning. I am my own permanent victory in the light. And while we're here, let's vote each other's victory. I am our permanent victory in the light. I am our permanent victory in the light. And then I am my family's permanent victory in the light. I am my community's permanent victory in the light. I am my nation's permanent victory in the light. I am our air's permanent victory in the light. I am our water's permanent victory in the light. I have every cell of any cell on the planet's permanent victory in the light. And any spike protein that is not a benefit has absolutely no power. And I command it dissolved and consumed forever, including any energy about sending it to another nation. Now, where I'm about, what this all for you is about is conscious language. Once we wake up to conscious language, but many people, oh, it sounds nice, I could improve my life. It's way bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. If I say I can't, my subconscious says, okay. And now I become susceptible to can't. Ever say I can? Just say it. I mean, if you're in a room and somebody's going to think you're weird, so what? But anyway, do it silently, but still say, I can. Notice I can't, that's a fact true. I can, that's a fact true. So I now see it's built, already been built. I've proven all this. I've proven it all relative to health. I've proven it about every physiological symptom. But now I realize, yeah, we better make sure every single human being is thriving by understanding, not learning conscious language. That's not a way. You can't do that. I mean, you can pretend to do that, but the conscious language is running in our heart. Conscious language is running in our heart. Otherwise, we wouldn't. Anyway, how many get? So you'll remember conscious language. But I'm going to test you right now. How many want to remain healthy for the rest of your life? Raise your hand if you do. Now, just know I tested you. And I said, how many of you want to remain healthy for the rest of your life? And if the hands go up, that's where you, not wrong. I'm not doing it that way to punish you, to pun-ish, which means it's somewhat of an ish joke. Ish, pun-ish. All right. Notice how quickly the hand could have gone up for I want. How many want? The scripture, not religion. It says the law, the I am, or the Lord is my, the law is my, the I am is my shepherd. I shall not want. Boom, straight up. And yet, how many were conceived in want? How many socialized in want? So all for you, the reason I'm going, man, we were this, and this can be delivered you at home. And right now, it's essential for me to share with my community of spiritual beings who are living on Mother Earth, who came here to enter this experiment that God has on earth, EARTHEARTHEART, to enter and eat from the fruit of the tree of the metaphor of right and wrong, good and evil, and fall from grace or union and become embarrassed. Now, how many have done that? And how many have been looking outside for approval? Again, that happens. So again, we all went through it to come here because we came for a reason. We came to Earth. So if we look inside of our physical body with electron, especially one we have now, the electron microscope, and then we look with the new Hubble at the heavens, we will see identically the same thing, identically the same thing. So each one of you that I am speaking with right now, not to, but with, in my experience, my fact true now is a universe in training. And our experience on Earth, as long as we're here, whatever, however all that works, is we get to wake up to never creating in right or wrong, good or bad again, only creating with love. Because if I'm in right or wrong, shame, blame, guilt, right, wrong, good, bad, hot, cold, you, me, that's what this virus thing, first, the Babel virus is the language of separation. The Babel virus, we had better confuse their language, for there is not anything they cannot do. And it says in scripture, we were cast around the world without a name, with a confused language. Our name is not Bob or whatever, it's I am. Most everyone I work with, they'll say, it feels cold, or it feels sad, or it feels, you are not in it. You are I am. You are my I am. So do you get right now, walk healthy in the world? I am. By all God's love, I know I am. I am healthy. I am strong. I am secure. I am invisible, invincible, and invulnerable to all human creation. Because this thing going on is human creation. I'm going to get that. So then the key is to get your charge up strong enough to have every single word exactly what you choose. This is what all for you and imagination activation and outcome facilitation and outcome mapping, all an aspect of the all for you, are all about. And then the entire class is all about this thing called I love, I touch, I breathe, I stay, I feel. Those 5 steps renegotiate us back into our body with love. And I touch and I stay. So if we look at some of the symptoms that have gone on, breathing, how many get that as a benefactor? Well, that's thriving. How many of you could upgrade your thriving coefficient right now? I'll raise my hand. How many can? And now I'm not going to do it, but I could say how many want to. Notice how many could have raised your hand with that, because you didn't automatically know the word want means lack. The word want means to desire without having. How many of you might say it feels like, and you didn't know that you were referring to your feeling spirit self, your subconscious, as an it? And I guarantee your spiritual self, this is the temple of the Most High Living God. I guarantee your spiritual self, our spiritual self, is not very happy when we're talking about it versus I am. How many can right now? I mean, I ask you to get this, not just go, well, he's enrolling me in a class, whatever. What I'm sharing with all of you is it's essential now for everyone to wake up to the language of their heart and to speak only what they choose. More than any time on my life, and I've been doing this 50 some years. And not based on fear, based on, oh, like if I'm going to get a fire extinguisher, I'm going to get the best one. Anyone else? And when you get a fire extinguisher, how many plan on using it a whole bunch? No, you plan on setting it over there where you can see it, so you don't even have to think about it anymore. Anyone else? You know, I discharge mine once a week just because it's fun to have all that dust all over. No. So now do you understand what's available right now is an operating system upgrade, a human operating system upgrade that, in my view, in my experience, I'm not going to demand and command or prove that it can, but how many know if I'm in a state of I can't, maybe, got it? I'm being careful now, maybe I could be more affected by a protein viral thing than if I'm in I am than I am. I'm going to get, oh, your body knows the truth of what I'm saying. And this cannot be taught to you. We create an environment where you remember it. I'm going to say it again. We create an environment, and it's emotional. I mean, when somebody goes from it feels to I feel, sometimes I watch them. I mean, usually live, but not for the last year and a half. I'd be with someone, all of a sudden I say, we'll say it again. And they're going, oh, what if I could? But I've got so much emotion. They just went from it feels to I feel, or I give myself permission to love my love, or all that kind of stuff. So how many get, all this outer world is got a reason. All things have a purpose under heaven. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. So this thing going on in the outer world is, I believe, a demand for everyone to surrender the Babel virus. I want, I can, I need, I should, I feel like you shouldn't. Isn't it? Wouldn't you? Can't you? Shouldn't you? Didn't you? Like if I go, isn't this a beautiful day? I'm saying, is not this a beautiful day? How do you answer that? Yeah, no. Well, it is a beautiful day. Wouldn't you like to go? That means, would not you like to go? That's got confused language, isn't it? Wait, what? So now how many get, there's a language of, in other words, every word is a prayer coming into manifestation. Scripture also says, not religion. Scripture says the angels of the air are bound and unable to do our bidding, or freed. It says loose to do our bidding by our words alone. So if that's true, and we've had this thing on our planet that they call a virus, and a virus is not alive. Let's really get that. Let's withdraw all power from any virus. Now, what has our media been doing? Cancel clear. I stopped watching. I just stopped completely. Nope. Actually, what happened is lightning struck my house and my DirecTV and said, nope. And there's no parts. There's no parts. So I didn't even get one for 3 months. So finally I went to, what's the other one? Dish. I haven't even turned it on yet. I've had that for 2 months because I'm going, no. What's important is to what you put your attention upon, that ye become. What you put your attention upon, that ye become. How many know that's true? Driving, how many know that's true? You know, if you go, oh yeah, how many done it for you? Oh, yes, no texting, not good for anyone. No, let's not do that. So now, again, what's happening is we are the ones. Why? Because I asked for you. And somehow you asked for me. Is that true? How many get that? How many have been asking, creating, imagining, praying, claiming, begging, whatever? Hoping and wishing and praying and thinking. How many have been doing? All right, well, you're the lead on this thing. Got it? How many you are, your caring, your love, your commitment, your genius. How many of you are some of the most weird of all the people you know? Raise your hand. How many are? And how many people go, you're weird? How many are going, knocking on your door going, hey, could you help me? I know you got that weird stuff going on and I'd really like, come on, how many know that? Well, let's get even weirder by not giving any power whatsoever to anything other than love. I am that I am. I can, I am, I will, I choose, I have, I love, I create, I enjoy, that kind of stuff. Now, how many are noticing a bit of a charge I'm creating with you? How many get that? Yes. How many had fear and didn't like it? Honestly, how many had some fear going on? So not wrong, not wrong. Yo, fear, I love you. The whole class and all for you is whatever comes up, you touch it with love, your love wins. Say my love wins. Say it, my love wins. My love wins. It does. My love wins. And how about if you will begin to, in other words, this is my view now. I cannot prove it at this point. And yes, I can, but still, I'm not here for that reason. If I am withdrawing from life or fearing or doubting, I'm a magnet for viruses. Scripture, let's do it that way, says you're either for me or against me. How many were hoping there'd be a little purgatory in there, whatever that means? How many like the idea that, oh, you know, I'm improving, I'm getting better. You're either for me or against me. Well, how many get? Well, I choose, I want to be, I mean, I hope I'm better. I got a book on it. I bought a tape on it. I bought whatever. It's time to have every word count. Yes or no? I am that I am. That's it. That is the connection of your creator. That's the fastest way I know. There may be many more, but that's the one I know. I am that I am. It's most universally received. I am that I am. I am that I am. Imagine just doing that all day long. And you don't do it out loud because they'll put you away. I'm going to get that. It'd be better to do that silently. What are you doing? Nothing? Whatever. So now what I'm sharing with you is, and this, I was ready to do my normal intro for all for you. Oh yeah, we do conscious language. Once you make a choice, then we do imagination activation so that you don't have to figure out how, you imagine already having it. And then the miracle of life is you get it because you imagine from it. That's all still true. But what I'm getting now, and this is like, if you knew the last beginning before I started this, the last few minutes were like, really? Now? Oh, I mean, my electric charge got so strong. I was like, okay, I choose to make this fun and easy. Just let it happen. Okay. So how many of you can hear what I'm sharing of the importance of every word? Me as well. Me as well. And one of the reasons I teach this stuff is so I stay in the conversation. So we've got an all for you coming up, and that's online with me. And then we have an all for you accelerator too, which is with our facilitators, because they're going to take you into the tools that you'll need to make this thing real in your life. And I don't do that. I mean, I designed it all, except that right now I'm helping to create the charge that I'm doing right now. We have a book coming out and they're really good at it. And they'll invest the time to make sure you get it. I mean, that's where it's at. So we'll do that intro in a minute. So I want to come back to this now. So what my commitment is to have every single person who chooses to participate in this class, this series of classes, be able to, number one. And number two, anyone, I recommend you repeat it as often as you can. And number three, I absolutely recommend you, if you serve other people and you like to lift them up, you get this, you add this to your tool belt to help your team. Conscious language is required. Not necessarily my version of it, but the language of our heart, yes, that's the one, is required at this point. Like I can't is useless. I choose to be able to is helpful. I give myself permission, moves the needle. I am already, or now that I can, that's the imagination activation. I mean, like that. Now that I can afford it, now that I can imagine, now that I remain above all viruses and radiate and ignite health everywhere I go. I ignite health everywhere I go. I ignite light everywhere I go. How many like keeping that charge going on? And then understanding if something shows up in your world, how to not, I'll say it in a cleanup, not resist it. Scripture says, resist not evil. Boy, that was a big one for me to learn back 40 some years ago. sideways throat. Resist not evil. If I resist it, it imprints itself on me. So if I touch anything with love, love wins. I did do a half throat, half something else. Sunday, it's not Sunday. I think my throat I think it's Sunday. This sounds like a Sunday sermon. Anyway, so vote my victory. Can you hear my voice? It's like I have two tones going on. Hello. So now it's imperative. Just listen to my heart. Every one of you, remember the language of your heart. And it's imperative to keep yourself at a high frequency. I've got 50 years now of somebody's got a physiological condition. I ask them a question in thought, word, and feeling patterns that they answer, and that the cause is not the symptom. The cause is a reflection from the symptom, or from the symptom, excuse me, is a reflection from the cause. Now, it's really important to understand this. Lack is a state of consciousness, not an amount of something. Got it, wearing the mask. I mean, okay, but how many get? I don't like to get into political on this, but if anyone will do 5 minutes of research on flu viruses, same kind of thing. And those people that have passed from that and where we are now, you'll see something else is going on underneath all this stuff. And that something else is the death of duality in its final dance. And are you going to dance the death of duality? Or are you going to dance union, oneness, I am that I am, love, light, victory? It's really which one are you going to, and you can't half and half. How many get that? How many get, you got to be all in? And it's not a compulsion, just I am that I am. I choose to make this fun and easy. And if you step off or if you make an error, that's so you just have compassion for yourself. It's okay. I recommit. Oops, I recommit. Oops, I recommit. Oops, I bring love to everything in your life, every single area of your life. And when you do, how many know you get past whatever, in my view, got it? The connecting points of any virus can't touch you. It's hammer time. Can't touch this. And then, the guy going back, whatever, MC Hammer. So now, do you all understand? Your heart understands. I'll speak right to your heart from my heart. You are already what you desire to be. You just have to agree with it. So how many want to thrive this year? Raise your hands if you do. That was your second test. How'd you do? How many want to thrive? How many want? So again, all you have to do is go, oops, I recommit. So how many had a hand up for wanting? Come on, put them up. And now if you make yourself wrong, you'll do it again. But if you go, oops, be willing to have 55 more errors and you'll get on course very quickly. Resist one error and you'll go off course again and again and again and again. Only love is going to get us back on course. I love, I touch, I breathe, I stay, I feel is the 5 renegotiating energies to come back into our heart, to come back into our body. So what we have coming up is a training, and Cynthia will be sharing the dates and times and all that, plus sharing as the team members. We have this thing coming up. I do my version of it, all for you, and then the All For You AT, they take it deeper because we require it. It's not you might, no, they're the same training. I bring a certain charge about it. They make sure you got the tools about it from their experience. And right now I'm thinking, I'm going to say 30 minutes before I started this, my spirit was it was just showing me, boom, 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 I'm walking around, drinking water, peeing, whatever I'm doing. But my spirit is showing me, I'm going to use my words, but it was all vision for me. I believe my God saying to me, but it wasn't in these words. I showed you this back 50 years ago, Babel virus. I showed you this for this time frame. You just built a book that anyone can resurrect themselves through anything into their victorious life. And we use essential oils because the essential oil gets right through. There's no cranial filter for the essential oil. And my mentor taught me that when I was 27 years old. Marion Jager, it's in the book coming out. So now do you get, all right, everything we require is here to not just get away from, no, this situation in life, is to rise above it and to transform it and transmute it so it can never act again, to replace it, not run from it. How many like the idea of speeding up to the point where this virus is gone? That's what's here. So remember communism, got it? And Reagan goes, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. He used the authority of his voice. And within a short period of time, we sold the wall. It got sold through capitalism, chunks of it to people around the world. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That was somebody having enough will and power and authority and clarity to go direct to the individual who could do that. And he decreed it. I'm suggesting we all resurrect. This energetic on the planet has no power whatsoever. For me, you have to use your words for me. God, for me, I say God. God is the only presence and power acting in me, through me, and around me. I can, I am, I will, I choose, I have, I love, I create, I enjoy. So what I'm suggesting we all do is do whatever it takes to embody and master every thought and make sure it's your heart's highest choice. Now, you don't have to learn it. All you have to do is come into your heart and stay. Pure speech, Zephaniah 3:9 says, I will return to you pure speech. And it goes on to say in one translation, where, when, where, here, when, now, you call upon the name of the Lord, I am, in unison, aligned, unison, one son, S-O-N, S-U-N, unison, and it shall be done unto you. And it goes on and talks about that. So that's right now. That's right here and right now, right here and right now, right this moment, here and now. Every one of you is made new if you choose. Only you'll have to be made new. You have to go imagine, let in the blessings you've been desiring and wanting. Now I am what I desire to be is the phrase, one of them. I am already what I desire to be. Scripture says, God speaking, before you have asked, I have answered. That is so amazing to me. Before you have asked, Bob, well, I have answered. How'd you do that? Because I'm God. Oh, and another one is, how'd you do that? Because I'm not bound by space and time. What? No, you get it. This space and time only exists here for us to learn to only create with love. So we went through the Babel virus to come to Earth. We had better confuse their language, for there is not anything they cannot do. And we were cast around the world without a name, which is I am, with a confused language. And now I believe the tractor beam of spirit is pulling us up back into union and oneness and grace. And this thing on the planet is basically demanding everybody get it together, or you're not on the planet anymore. Now, to inject somebody with something that's man-made, it does not make sense to me, anybody else. And even if you have taken the jab, water, I love you, I bless you, I thank you. Cells of my body, I love you, I bless you, I thank you. There are all the oils, all the like blue-green algae, alphanazamina, aqua, all these things will reboot our divine blueprint, our DNA divine blueprint, and our, RNA blueprint. Look, God is all powerful. Anything else has no power unless you give it power. So what I'm suggesting for this All For You coming up, and this our All For You teams, A2 teams, that you really go with your heart, whatever your heart says, and we will do anything on our end to make sure you can participate with us. And again, what I'm suggesting is we get at some point soon 144,000 people decreeing at the same time. 144,000. How many read that as a kid? I did. When I heard 144,000, I saw something. I went, that's the magic number. That's what it's going to take. And now we can do it. How many know you can have 144,000 people on Zoom at the same time? Bandwidth is a little sketchy sometimes. It might take a week to get I am for some people, but it's worth it. So I'll turn it over to you, Cynthia.
I thought you froze. You went so slow with I and am. I thought, whoa, where'd he go? Okay. Thanks for being here, everyone. We all appreciate you being here, and you are called to be here. And in our All For You starts on August the 8th, which is Sunday. It runs Sundays and Thursdays, the 8th, the 12th, the 15th, the 19th, and the 22nd. There are 5 sessions. When you enroll in All For You, you get a loaded hub downloaded with all kinds of things for home study to prepare you for what's coming in your All For You class. So you get Living the Path of Conscious Language, which is a fabulous introduction into conscious language. You get outcome mapping, because how do you outcome map unless you know how to outcome map? The Power of Imagination Activation. You get the Foundation, which is a fantastic course which covers all the things and creates what? A foundation, thus the name. Our essential oils are aptly named, and so are our classes. You also get an All For You online manual. You get that, so you can print it out, download it, and print it out as well to follow along. Before we go any further with what's coming up, raise your hand if you are an A2 facilitator. Oh, yes, here's the manual coming up. There it is. And if you choose a purple cover, it will have to be delivered from Mastery Systems. So where are my A2 facilitators? Raise your hands, guys. So we're going to share just a little bit about the difference between All For You, which is lovely, and A2, and that's what I call it, but just because it's All For You Accelerator Squared, and I just like A2. So what is the difference between these two? Who chooses to go first?
I'll jump in and say, hi, everyone. I am Heather Connor, and what I find is different is us coaches, Stacy and I instruct a class together, and we walk you through the book. We walk you page by page, and we make sure that you are in your understanding and you are remembering every step along the way. And personal things come up, and we use the tools to facilitate them, and we see connections with our whole class, and it's beautiful, and we see our oneness, and it's just, I just love it. I experienced so many upgrades in myself because of seeing the oneness in my class. I realize they're all an essence of me, everyone in my class, and I'm upgrading me as I instruct. I instruct myself out loud. And so I just love going deep into each and every one of the tools. Some of my favorites are imagination activation, and I love outcome mapping because I'm an art teacher, and I just love all the colors and going deep into our facilitation and our imagination of our outcomes and our desires. So go ahead, whoever would like to jump in next.
Go ahead, Beth.
What I see as the difference is when I experienced my first All For You with Bob, and first of all, I never knew I could cry before going to an All For You with Bob. Do I have static? And so what I recognize is my feelings are so valuable, and now I know what they are. Now I know what I feel, and to value what I feel and love what I feel. So that's working with Bob and All For You and experiential. going into our All For You accelerator, now I have a bigger, deeper, fuller understanding on how to use the tools and facilitate myself to dive in, and because we use experiences in our sessions and learn from each other, now with the tools, and the freedom process is one of mine. What is my withhold, and really diving into what story am I telling myself that I'm not making a new choice? Cancel. Now I know, and I can make a new choice once I understand what I'm feeling about an experience or a story I'm telling myself. So I would say the toolbox is what we get out of All For You, is you yourself have tools that you can go on and continue your upgrades, period.
Mandy, you're up.
Hi, my name is Mandy. So when I started with Bob at the All For You, it was because in my business, I teach energetic boundaries and energetic responsibility, how to take responsibility for your energy. So I came to Bob with the anticipation of adding more things to teach to other people. You know, like what is it that they can do for themselves? And if I gained some stuff, I was excited. And what I found to be hilarious, and I was reminded again today in my 10-minute mini session with Bob, is that even now, me love me can and did change everything in my day and in my life and in my world and in my family. And all of these little changes that are monumental that I learned as tools through All For You are gigantic. I mean, it's would be amazing to describe all that to you because it's so experiential. You're like, what just happened? You know, I, like Beth said, for me to learn how to cry was in public. First of all, I'm a master crier now. And I love that this is something I'm good at. I'm like, what am I feeling was a joke in the past. And now I recognized it. I even use pendulums. Like, what am I feeling right now? And now I know. So I choose to share that before I became an in-house coach and started teaching All For You's Accelerated, I was able to intern into other people's classes. And there was this super hilarious moment where somebody was describing something and the material was so good. It was so good that I'm like, wow, that is really good. Where are you getting that? And it literally is printed in the All For You book, like already out of Bob's mouth on print in the book. And that to me is the very description of the reason why you have all those massive experiences with Bob and upgrades and upgrades and upgrades. And then I got to, and I share that experience with you, is to go into the All For You Accelerated with a teacher and learn what did he do and how did he do that? What are those things called? What is mind mapping? What is the freedom process? What are those things? So even if you've seen or heard Bob say something 1,900 times, to go into a class with a teacher and have them describe to you what is it that he's doing, putting a face to a name or for the first time, like it helps all those pieces come together. And I share that also knowing that the massive experiences that we gain within every single one of these masterful in-house coaches is amazing. They're all beautiful, really beautiful, powerful women to match the beautiful, powerful Bob's teaching. So I'm excited for you, and I look forward to seeing you in class.
I'm
Thanks,
going to add,
guys.
I'm going to add one thing. We have a new, they have doctorates now. And then there'll be masterful crier. Is that what you said? Something like that. Excuse me. I laughed longer than I should have because I kept going, that is funny. So anyway.
That's awesome. And I agree with what my fellow coaches have said. And for me, my first All For You experience, I was the benefactor of the freedom process, the benefactor of the scale of emotional harmonics, the benefactor of outcome mapping and imagination activation and margin notes. And I left thinking, what was that? How do I do that again? This is fantastic. And how do I stay here? And so thus was how All for You 2 Accelerator was born. I had no idea that you read the scale of emotional harmonics all the way across. Hello, how fantastic is this? And so a margin note, what is a margin note? Why is it even called a margin note? What do I do with a margin note? So I just write them all down in the margin, and then what? Oh, I outcome map them. Really? Well, how do I do that? What does an outcome map look like? What do I put in it? I use lots of colors. Why do I use lots of colors? Only 3 words per line. All these little things that we go deeper into in our A2 classes to teach you and remind ourselves for sure how we recreate our miracles. I had miracles and upgrades in my All for You class. I have miracles and upgrades in my A2 class as well. And I know how to recreate them. And thus is the benefit of both of those. So we have All for You and we have A2. When you bundle them together, you get a savings and a package price. So you can email me for that at cynthia@masterysystems.com. And I'm happy to share that information with you.
And what about repeats?
Repeats. Yes, I have repeated A2 several times. I have repeated All for You 5, 6,
But
7,
can they
8
repeat?
times.
Yeah, can they
And-
repeat?
Yes, please repeat, because I'm all new every time. I can finish it all for you, an A2, a kahuna, some deep dives, lots of classes, and now I'm all new. So now I can go back to All for You again. And where I may have started here before and I raised to here, now I start here and I raise higher and higher. And added little bonus, All for You repeaters get a discounted price. Shh, but don't tell anybody. Go ahead, Beth.
You will find out when, and some of you are very familiar, when you repeat an All for You, you're going to hear something brand new and go, oh, I've never heard that before. And then you go listen to the audio tape on day 1, and it's within the first 30 minutes. I am now awake to what I did not hear before cancel. So I'm just letting you know that we hear brand new and are brand new each time. Exactly what Cynthia said.
And I completely agree with that. And I, for the longest time, just really believed that Bob was the master at adding things into pre-recorded classes that weren't there before, because I know I've listened to these classes maybe twice, maybe 3 times, and all of a sudden there's a new sentence in there. Wait, why didn't he say that the first time? Oh, it's a recorded class. He did. And
Actually, in the recording, when somebody goes through the portal the first time, certain files are closed. And then when you go through the second time, more files are open. Not really, but it seems like that. Holy mackerel, yes or no?
my
Can you imagine
files,
somebody goes through
yes.
the whole time and they go through the second, and we do that? How cool if we actually did a whole nother section on this and this and this? I mean, that would be the trick of a lifetime. And in essence, it's all about consciousness. So I remember way back, I took a class with Dr. John Ray. He gave me all the tapes. I became a co-trainer. He thought he was going to get arrested or whatever for all this knowledge. So he gave me copies of the tapes and I had them secretly hidden. And anyway, I started listening to them and I was in class. I take all notes, and I went to all the people. I brought 12 people to that 6-day class. And I heard something on like the 4th day or 3rd day out of 6 days. And I went, what, did you let me sleep? Was I at the cabin and didn't come over to the classroom? Everyone said, go read your notes. You were there and I read my notes and I wrote down all that information, but I didn't get it at all. And when I heard it again, I was able to receive it. So that's why I'm suggesting that right now, especially if any of us are more home or more this, use this time wisely to every one of us to get ourselves to the point where we become a sun presence, radiating and igniting what we love in us, through us, and around us to our family, friends, loved ones, and world. Yes? And get masterful at it. It's awesome. Who else? Any comment? Any grads to share your experience? Mic yourself, wave, we'll find you. No.
I'll go.
And wave so I can find you. Wave, wave. Okay,
Thanks,
go ahead.
Marie.
Hey, go ahead. Thank you, dear. Good job, girl. I found you.
Just, I love your enthusiasm. I'm fired up all over again, and I knew that this would be, I knew it would be that way. That's why I came. And I talked to Cynthia yesterday, and it just, again, just the enthusiasm, and I love it. And I love hearing what you're saying, and I love seeing all these beautiful faces. I miss my conscious language family. So it's good to be back.
Good job. Welcome. Welcome. Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else share your experience? No, I mean, it's all right.
I will.
Okay.
When I went through it, I didn't sign up early enough to get the pre-material soon enough. And I wish I would have, because that would have just been so much, like you say, every time you take it, you are someone different. So you're going to hear new and other things. But it just happened that I could jump on here tonight again. And I'm going, oh yeah, like I just totally concur that as we learn this, we upgrade, and then we upgrade and we upgrade. And so if anybody is thinking about taking it for the first time, I just so encourage you to do it, because it just puts a whole new way of seeing, acting, being, as you learn the truths that Bob has taught for however many years he's taught now. It's truly amazing. And so once again, I want to thank you, Bob, for all that you have put in to share this with us, to allow us to upgrade in our lives.
Awesome, dear. Thanks for sharing. Well, it brings to, I'm so quiet. And anyway, I'm enthusiastic. We have a book coming out called All For You, or My Word Made Flesh. How many have studied it? How many have gone through some version of it? Maggie has put in a whole bunch. We've literally about put another 1/3, I'm guessing. Do you think in the last week? Another 1/3 in there that all fits together. And now it's got, anyway, it's so cool. And we imagine we didn't have any of My Word Made Flesh like that in any of the classes. Now somebody can go to that and see body, signal, issue, how to get there, and decrees. And so what I found, the decree, like I asked our group of Kahuna deep dive team members, level 2, about, well, now that you know how to make yourself be made all new, what are the tools you use? And I was asking them, maybe there were 10 people on, and I saw this kind of blank stare, which was not really good news. It was great, but it was also like being made on, what steps do I use to be made all new? So I took them through each one, and they go, well, I do this, and it wasn't all new. It was like, they start and then they go back to the reason why, and that's not made new. Nobody goes and shops for a car once you have your car. You drive your car. Everybody got that? You have your new car, you go drive it. So you don't go, well, the reason why I'm going to get a new car, it's sitting in your driveway. No, you get in your car, you appreciate your car, you sell your car again to yourself that happens. All right. So what I share with everybody is at right the last 10 minutes of that 2-hour share was the decrees are from the state of all new. And it's so important to understand that every one of you find a couple decrees in the book that you love about whatever's going on in your life and live them. And literally, there isn't any process. Your decree is where you are. Every I am statement is I as God, am as action. So I'm sharing with all of you, you can be made completely new from this moment forward, if you will. Your job is to make sure you don't settle. Your job, my job, our job is to make sure it's our highest choice always. How many of you have ever went, well, I'm going to dumb my choice down a little to make it doable, reasonable, and possible? How many have done that? If we withdraw what our heart said for us, the universe blocks us and makes us challenging. I thought it'd be easier to lower my goal. It is not. I have to talk myself out of my God self to have something less than my full measure. So if every one of you can just take this to the bank, so to speak, of spiritual union and spiritual capital, your heart, if it gives you a signal, it's already funded. It's already delivered. It's simply in the invisible or the unseen world. You just walk. I walk by faith, not by sight. I walk already, thank you. And I walk or imagine already having it. And then it'll come from the invisible to the visible state in ways we know not of, and they're beyond finding out. Here's what I'm sharing with you from all these experiences of my life to this moment. Anything less than our highest choice has in it self-sabotage. How many knew if we all got who we were right now, just imagine you knew who you are and what you're connected with, your true nature is I am that I am. None of us would settle. None of us would settle for it. We would always go, oh, my outcome is, and it wouldn't be pumped up. It would be exactly what our heart said, because if my heart says it, it's here right now. Same with quantum physics. In the field of all possibilities, the moment I'm aware of someone, I'd like to speak to someone, that someone is calling me. If I require something, that something is in my field. And all I have to do is let it in or claim it or walk with it. So now do you get, how many have a desire? I didn't use want. I'm letting you know that. You don't have to muscle test to find out. Did he say want? Can I answer? Okay. So how many desire, how many imagine, how many agree with our healthy planet? So can I react to virus action and vax and all that and have my healthy planet? No. I can simply, with love, say you have no power. I am this. I am the resurrection and the life of our health on our planet. Now may manifest. How many love that? Resist not evil. Resist the adversary, he will flee from thee. And yet, how many love the idea of what we put our attention upon that you become? So come play with us. And if Cynthia is the one, she's our home base on this. So if anyone, Cynthia at masterysystems.com. That's Cynthia at masterysystems.com. Cynthia at masterysystems.com. And if you go Mastery Systems, you'll get it faster because it's easier that way. Anyway, and if you go, well, money, time, whatever, my edict, my direction from my creators, anyone who chooses to come will work out a way and be here. And the sooner you sign up, the faster you get your study, you can start studying. Like Leah said, it would have been nice to know. I mean, some people got their package and didn't even know what it was. And didn't, I know, Cynthia, I was just looking, by the way, at you. I mean, so there's literally a wealth of information in there. And we've got the price adjusted now. So we're right now launching our book, My Word Made Flesh. There are 10 million to 28 million Young Living distributors, those that know that particular company. And we're using the Young Living essential oils for the booster of our decree with the oil. It's all completely translated exact, and it's all completely compliant. So what I'm suggesting to you is if you're going, oh, I'd really like to help people, there could be a few more people coming online shortly. So if you haven't seen the book yet, make sure you get a link from us. We've got some free things that we can share with you that are Zooms that you can do. There's all kinds of study. You can talk to Cynthia about that to find out if you choose to be a coach or facilitator, what that looks like. Cynthia.
I typed it in the chat. It's Cynthia at masterysystems.com. When you choose, talk with me and we'll enroll you in the All for You and the A2 concurrently, because that's your bundle savings. You're going to save over $500 doing those two together. Bob's All for You classes are on those set days that I mentioned before, starting on August 8th, Sundays and Thursdays for 5 sessions. The coaches have their own schedule. You'll see a little drop-down box. I'll walk you through it. You have lots of opportunities. There's 2 classes Monday, 1 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 1 Friday, and 1 Saturday. There are plenty of options to choose from. Choose the time that works with your schedule, or choose your favorite coach, or both, however that works out for you. And again, Cynthia at masterysystems.com. We can work out whatever we require working out, and it's an investment in your all new self. I highly, highly recommend it.
Especially now. Let's get 144,000 up to speed. Yes.
Yes.
So again, everybody in your whole world ought to be at this thing. How many love people? How many trust? How many like the idea of trusting? Everyone has got themselves hooked up to only speaking what they choose with an experience of what that's like. Yes. And seeing
Yes.
perfection and voting victory. So anyway, thank you all. Thank you, team, for coming on, doing a great job. All
Thanks
of you,
for being
thank
here
you.
tonight, guys.
Yep. And vote victory. Who's your own? Win now and forever. Thank you all.
Always.